Good morning, good afternoon, and a very happy Friday, guys. I hope you're doing well. And a warm welcome back to my co host, Project Storytime. Hey!
Hello.
Hello!
I was
Oh,
jamming.
it's like. I do love that music. Let's say hello to everybody. We have got Bash Brothers, Mark and Chris. Hello, guys. We have got Arwin. Hey, sweetheart. Good to see you. We've got Andrew Broadband. Good afternoon. Debun Martin. Good morning. Hello to Kaylee D. Hey, sweetheart. We have got Snorterpoopus Cuba, who is now a stunning redhead. Good to see you.
He's a ginger now.
We need more gingers in the world. I
This
fully
is
endorse
true.
it.
This is true. But is he a natural ginger? That's the question.
we're adopting him anyway.
Okay,
We're
that's
just going to bring
fair.
him into the fold. Leia Rose, hello, sweetheart. Good to see you. Let's see. We've got Dave Bob. Good morning, Dave Bob. That was a great show you guys had earlier. Apollome's Minion, hello, honey. Good to see you. Keely Chow, Roll Tide Keely, Dean Krantz, good morning to you. Good to see you. Let's see who else. Make sure I'm not missing anybody. You guys were busy this morning. I think that was everybody, and I know we had a super chat very early on, so let me grab that one. A big thank you to Lord Scram. Good to see you, says greeting humans and fellow creatures. I finally left Mars and be landing on Earth in the new year. See you all very soon. Well, thank you, sweetheart, and good afternoon to you too. Hope you're having a good one so far.
He's got good reception.
It really does better than mine. My Wi-Fi is spotty as hell. Good afternoon, Colin. Good to see you as well. And Pat S, good morning. Good to see everybody. So, I wish I could say I had a brilliant plan for what we were going to talk about today, but what I really wanted to do was get Project Story Time back on. We haven't had him for a while, and just kind of have a little bit of fun on Friday and just kind of talk about a few stories that we've come across. And just kind of shoot the shit a little bit before we go into the weekends. I thought that would be fun. We'll have
Yeah.
some fun. Yeah, because that's what we need. We're too serious at the moment. I think there's too much, too much nonsense going on in the world.
Too much drama. Just
Too
ask
much
Seth
drama.
Rogen.
Yes. I would say poor Seth Rogen, but I'm absolutely loving what is going on with him. Couldn't have happened to a more worthy person, to be honest. And really, I can't decide if they did it on purpose because they knew they were going to get the blowback for doing something so stupid and childish as this particular crap show that they've put on HBO Max, or whether he genuinely thought that this was the funniest damn thing ever invented, and people were going to absolutely flock to it and love it.
I wouldn't be surprised if it's a little bit of both. As a trained former actor, I will say we're very vain people, and we don't think our shit stinks. I will freely admit that. Like what I create is gold. However, everything in Hollywood is also very, very calculated. So I would not be surprised if this is like a mixture of both.
Yes, I mean we've had it before. If something's so terrible, people are talking about it and they're watching it, but it seems that even that's backfired on them because nobody's watching it.
Yeah, I have zero interest.
I think there's been no critic reviews on Rotten Tomatoes so far. It's down to like 1%. I think it's just absolutely beautiful to see, and it kind of serves them right. We were talking just in the green room about it before we went live, and it's just a very mean-spirited thing to do this time of year.
Oh yeah, and we also mentioned in the back room, what if say a Christian made a movie mocking Hanukkah traditions? Do you think that would go well? I mean, by Seth Rogen's own philosophy, it should
Mhm.
that should be fine, right?
Absolutely, yeah, yeah. If it's okay for one religion, you've got to have a level playing field.
Right.
Absolutely, yeah.
Yeah. It'll totally work that way.
But I've got a sneaking suspicion he would be one of the first, and Sarah Silverman would be out there crying anti-Semitism if that were the
Yep.
case, and
Yep.
rightly so. Nobody should be, you know, have their religion mocked. I believe.
Mm-hmm.
But again, it's a case of it's okay when we do it.
Right. Rules for thee, but not for me.
Exactly, yes. But I was very heartened to see his meltdown on Twitter. Um, I think,
When doesn't he have a meltdown on Twitter, though?
yeah, it's kind of, yeah. At least once a week, he does something stupid and then gets blowback, and then oh lol, I've pissed off the white supremacists again. That seems to be his kind of go-to excuse now.
Yeah.
It's
But,
like, yeah.
and then there's people like me who are like, oh, the guy who was in that Green Hornet movie said something stupid, whatever.
Completely forgot about that Green Hornet movie.
So did everyone else.
Oh my god. But yeah, very, very happy to see that it has been rightly so absolutely panned. They so much so that they had to turn the dislikes off, but it's very easy to turn them back on. I think we're up to 105,000 dislikes.
Yes, I'm very happy that Az gave like a little demonstration of how to bring back the dislike button if you are so inclined.
Yes. I did it because I actually like having the dislike button. No,
Yeah,
especially
it looks weird.
yeah, and it is useful. Not just for looking for something, but it is useful for content creators as well. If I get 8 dislikes, then I clearly have done something wrong, and it's something that I need to rectify. It is useful. It's a useful tool.
Mm-hmm.
It's not about hurt feelings. Mark says Steph's been playing the same part for 29 years.
How can you be a has-been when you just started out?
And hello to Rab Marshall. Good to see you. He says there's only one Christmas movie, Die Hard. That is one of them, absolutely. And that is a hill I will die on myself.
Yeah.
Die Hard is indeed a Christmas movie.
It is. It is. Yeah. What I used to be in the camp of it's not really a Christmas movie. It's an action film, and it is an action movie. I don't think anyone's going to argue that. But then when it was simply pointed out to me that if you removed Christmas from It's a Wonderful Life and the story can still happen completely unaffected, then you have to consider It's a Wonderful Life not a Christmas movie. And I went, that's a very valid argument. Yes, Die Hard is a Christmas movie.
Yes, I fully agree.
Yep.
Yeah, there was some of them out there that are a little bit on the fence, but no, I agree. And Darth Pastor 6, Kevin Smith was better when he was Silent Bob in not talking. Yes.
Yeah.
Kevin Smith's another one that's open mouth, insert foot at the moment.
Yes.
It is kind of heartening to see so many kind of celebrities getting pushed back, and they're clearly not used to getting this level of criticism. That's the one thing that I think social media is doing right. Especially if they put their dumb views out there, people will call them on it nowadays.
Yep. They don't get this is what the filter was saying. This is just this is the whatever the plebs say. I only care about what the critics, the true judges of art. Well, now when you say whatever you want on Twitter, anyone can reply unless you block certain people.
Yes. I've seen
and that just makes you look like an asshole.
Yes.
And
but
yes, I'm talking to you, Kevin Smith.
I saw that as well. I was like, wow, somebody's salty.
just block people who are critical of the film, and suddenly I'm seeing nothing but praise.
Yes,
Imagine how
that's
that works.
I think that was his exact words or close to it. He said there was so much hate for part one, but I'm really heartened that after wading through so many terrible reviews, I finally found some people that like part two. I was like, honey, that's not a good thing.
Yeah, because like part one was in Netflix's trending, and
Yeah,
part two wasn't. People
that's it.
don't care, Kevin.
No, no, they don't. It's not that they hate what you've done now. It's just apathy are set in, and
Yep.
it's like, nope. I admit that obviously we did watch it because we reviewed it the other day, but yeah, it's fun
I
to tear it
didn't.
apart with friends.
I did. I had zero interest in seeing part two, so I've not seen it and have no desire to.
Well, if you've seen part one, then you've seen part two. So I think you made the wise
Yeah,
choice.
I watched your review the other day with Loki, and I watched Critical Drinkers, and it's like, okay, I'm good.
I'm good now. It's fine. Lava, rinse, repeat. Well done.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I love that they've set it up for a second season, which will probably never come. Fingers crossed.
Oh darn.
Oh darn! What a shame. Go, go try and sell some more toys, Gavin. Good luck. And let me just say a massive thank you and good morning to Miss Martin Muses. Hello, sweetheart. She sends us a super sticker of a rose. Thank you, honey. I hope you're having a good morning. Shane Nolan says, I couldn't get angry at part two. It was just depressing. Yeah.
Yeah.
We don't talk about Eternia. It's a very silly place. And hello to Psychodorf. He says, got errands, ears only. You take care, honey. I know you're having a good day. I know you're working hard at the moment. Isard Melody says, you ever see that scene where Landfill is votexing beer in the vat at Beer Fest? That's Seth and Kevin in a vat of copium right now. Yep.
Yeah, pretty much.
Retreat back into your bubble, guys. Back into Hollywood where you'll just get pats on the ass for giving subpar content. Shane Nolan says Monty Python, the Holy Grail. Love it, absolutely. I love Monty Python.
Oh
I know
yeah.
you're a big fan as well, aren't you?
Oh, huge Monty Python fan.
I think we've actually got a Monty Python show planned, haven't we? If I remember correctly, we're just trying to work out, when's the best time to do it. Because I'd love to talk some Monty Python, not just the films, but obviously the TV
Flying
show.
Circus, yeah.
Flying Circus, yes, and the songs. Oh my god, the songs.
Oh god. I've said it before, but I think Monty Python was the greatest collection of comedians that's ever happened.
I'd agree with that, and they're still old school. We've still got John Cleese, who cancelled himself before he could be cancelled.
That was brilliant.
That was wonderful. We've got poor Terry Gilliam. They don't want him to do his play because he's not of the right. Well, he's not of the right right mind now. He doesn't toe the line.
Yeah.
TC Canadian says, still love Clerks by Kevin Smith, even though he's lost his mind. I liked Dogma. I thought Dogma was pretty good. I thought it was very kind of
Dogma was alright.
Yeah.
Dogma was alright, but I've always not been a huge Kevin Smith fan, so this has all been like whatever for me.
Same. But I know there are a lot of people out there that really, really loved him, and he made such a show about being, one of us, being one of the fans. It's like, yeah,
and
what happened?
This is why I never bought it. There was just something about it just felt manufactured to me.
So if you have to try that hard to prove that you're one of the people, you might actually be lying, and eventually you will get called out on it. Keely says,
Anyone who has to scream "I am the king" is no true king.
exactly, exactly. And Keely says, I like Jay and Silent Bob Strike Back. Yeah, Mark, Dogma makes perfect sense if you're Catholic as a comedy. It does. And Dean Krantz says, Purple Valkyrie, you mean you don't appreciate the genius of chasing Amy? You know what? I think I've only ever seen that film once. So it couldn't have made that big an impression on me.
I completely forgot about that movie.
And good morning to the boss. Good to see you, says Loki and Bartleby in Dogma. Yes, absolutely.
All right, yeah.
Good morning, Sherry. Good to see you, honey. I hope you're having a good one as well. Ah, it skipped on me. I was trying to grab a comment. There it is, Stephen Martin. Let's not go to Hollywood. It is a silly place. I agree. It really is.
Yeah.
You just before we move on, you were saying you obviously you've had experience as being an actor.
Mhm.
Are the stories true? It would being in Hollywood, would that kind of environment that people talk about, is that kind of how it is, do you think?
I think
Very
so.
in their own bubble.
Yes. Oh yeah. Oh, absolutely. Because you
Mm-hmm.
just get in the very, very limited experience I have, it is so you're constantly like creating and reading fiction that you kind of don't have time for like normal real life, if
Mm-hmm.
that makes any sense. 'Cause, like I had one of my college professors even flat out told me you should be reading one play a day. Wait,
The same one,
oh,
or which one did he recommend?
it's like, I mean, you can get like playbooks pretty easily, things that have like tons of short little plays in there, one act stuff. But it's like read one play a day.
uh, I would say no, because real life and everything else. But yes, good luck with that.
It's one of the reasons I decided maybe this isn't for me.
I think you made the wise choice, to be fair. Not that I don't think that you're probably a very talented actor, but I can't imagine, you being in that kind of Hollywood lifestyle and
No, no. Plus, especially before everything went completely insane, there was still the prospect of I don't want to live in South LA. don't
that
want I don't want to
I
live in
can understand.
SoCal.
Oh, but if you listen to Seth Rogen, it's fine. Obviously you get your car broken into continuously, but it's fine.
Yeah, I loved his comment about like you just as long as you don't leave anything valuable in there, things are fine. And people were like, I had my baby diapers stolen, and
Somebody stole my lunch. Yeah.
yeah,
It just proves, how much of a divide there is between celebrities, and I'm putting in them in quotations, and everybody else.
yeah.
It is pretty funny. But the one thing that I will say about 2020 and pretty much 2021 is people seem to have kind of seen through this now, and they're much more willing to call people out on their nonsense, whereas before you probably wouldn't have seen that as much.
I would say that has been one of the best parts of the thing that's happened over the last 2 years. Celebrities have shown how desperate they are for attention and how stupid most of them are.
Yes.
And so people are now seeing through, just because they're able to pretend really well doesn't mean I should take like their life advice.
Yes, absolutely. I remember seeing so many of them just going to pieces over the coof. Madonna just
That was insane.
in the bath. It's like,
Yeah.
are you okay? Yeah. Do we need to go check on her?
Yeah.
And John D, I agree. Says actors are surrounded by people who tell them constantly how great you are, and
Yep.
then when faced with criticism, they're not able to handle it. Couldn't have
Mhm.
said it better. Absolutely. Ascension dildo. COVID is the great equalizer.
Who was the woman who was like brushing her hair and was like, look at all the hair that's coming out, and it was like a detangler brush. It's supposed to like grab hair. Was that Alyssa Milano?
Probably, yeah. Alyssa Milano's another one that's gone off the deep end.
I mean, she was already kind of stupid, but she's really dumb.
Mark says my daughter has told me some war stories, script editing.
Oh, I believe it, Mark. Absolutely believe it.
Believe it. And Cam says, so true, Project Storytime, not the people for life advice. Absolutely.
No.
Absolutely.
You need to take relationship advice from people who've gone through 4 divorces. Because they clearly understand how complicated they are.
And are having a breakdown whilst living in a mansion. Yes.
Yeah.
And yeah, I don't hate celebrities. There are some people that I really like, there are some people that, if they're in a film, that can sometimes sway me whether or not to see the film. But yeah,
Bruce Campbell.
Bruce Campbell, exactly. who apparently is no longer playing Ash because he can't do it anymore, I've heard.
Yeah, he announced his retirement from Ash, which is sad.
Yeah.
But it's also I understand too. It's an action role, and he's getting up there.
He is. I mean, he's got to be close to 60, if not past it.
Probably. I'm going to look this up right now.
Check out how old Bruce Campbell is. He's one of the people that I would actually really love to meet, at a convention or something, because I've heard he's a lot of fun. He's very sarcastic, but if you're kind of sarcastic back with him, he kind of gets it.
He's
and then
63.
63? Oh, he's older than I thought.
Yeah.
I could see why you wouldn't want to be running around playing Ash. But I really like the character. I love the Evil Dead films, and I actually really like the TV show as well. I thought that was pretty good.
I still haven't seen Ash vs. the Evil Dead TV series. I've heard it was good. I just never got a chance to see it. And I remember once I wasn't able to find any more follow-ups on it, but I remember I was in the comic book shop and I saw a Ash versus Evil Dead comic book that #1 that came out. I'm like, oh, I'm getting this. And but then I was unable to find any of the follow-up issues, so I have no idea what happened.
I've got the Freddy versus Jason versus Ash comic books. I think they came out as a set of 6, and they're really good because that would have been the next film after Freddy versus Jason had it come to light. The script is floating around out there. It's a good read, and the comic book's really good if you can get it.
Okay.
But I would have liked to have seen that because I would have loved to have seen Ash versus Freddy just going at each other.
Yeah. That would have been fun.
And good afternoon, Coffee on Coraban. Good to see you. And hello to to Speak for the Dead. He says, "Hail, Purple Valkyrie and Project Storytime." Good to see you. We've got the chat talking about Mark Ruffalo as well. Another one that's
He was always insane, though.
He was, but he seems to have gotten worse over the past 6 months. It's like, yeah.
Yeah.
Just now, Mark. You clearly have no idea what the hell you're actually talking about. Cam says Bruce is a good guy and a great actor. Very cool. Wasn't Hollywood the couple of times we met. I've heard that as well. Yeah, he's one of those guys that it didn't go to his head.
Mm-hmm.
Which is
I think it also helped. I think it also helped that he didn't really pursue Hollywood so much. He did like most of his stuff is small indie films. I think that helped him out a lot because you need to keep working that way.
Yes, absolutely. Rad Marshall said, "How about animated? Surely he could still do the voice. That would be interesting. I could kind of see that."
I mean, my favorite part of the Spider-Man 2 video game was he was the voice of the tutorial guy.
Yeah, he was. I forgot about that.
And he was it was so Bruce Campbell of just like, all right, so push the A button to jump. He was so sarcastic, and I loved it.
I do love his sense of humor. I know some people, I think it kind of rubs them up the wrong way, but I just really love that kind of dry wit that he has.
Yes.
So I will be sad to see the character go, but as you say, I can fully understand why. And I think, Ash as a character has had a good run.
Yeah. Yeah. I'll miss Lefty.
Me too. And his boomstick, yes.
Yes.
Ruffalo dipped his toe in the stupid pond a few times before going headfirst into it. I've just had the best visual then. So thank you for that. And Dean Krantz says Bruce Campbell's only failing is that he went to Western Michigan University. Nobody likes the Broncos. That's a sports ball reference, and I don't understand it, so sorry.
Yeah, it's all right.
But I will take your word for it, Dean, so thank you. Colin says, I suspect that a large part of the problem with celebrities is that they do not only get into so much sycophancy that they refuse to listen to any news source or opinions that they don't agree with. I think so. And Project Storytime.
That sounds fair.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, one of the things I did want to ask you about, because I know that you're a big fan, and kind of if I ever needed, somebody who knew what they were talking about when it came to this particular game franchise, I would go to you. Dragon Age.
Yes.
Yes. So we're supposedly we've got a fourth game in the works. It's supposed to be coming. Not sure if anybody asks for it, really. Inquisition.
It's been 7 years since Inquisition already.
Yeah, it's been a long time. I thought it was only, I didn't think it was 7 years, but yeah.
2014.
That's crazy. That's nuts. And I liked Inquisition. I thought it was definitely a step up from Dragon Age 2, but
yes,
a lot of things are a step up from Dragon Age 2.
Yeah. Yeah.
But according to this, BioWare has lost yet another major Dragon Age dev. So this is the fourth one who stepped down. This was senior creative director Matt Goldman has decided to jump ship.
Yeah, this is concerning because they've already lost so many people who were involved in basically everyone who was involved in making BioWare what BioWare was is now gone.
Yes. And we've had this with companies before where pretty much the entire, workforce that worked on these games has gone. And can you recreate or recapture the magic of a game with people that have not worked on the previous games? Yeah.
I mean, you can look no further than Mass Effect between Mass Effects 1 and 2 and 3. The third game was written by someone else. The original writer of the first two games left after Mass Effect 2. That's why there's so many plot lines from the first two games that are unresolved.
Because nobody can go back and do research. It's not a thing.
Yeah.
Are you looking forward to the fourth game? Is it something that you would pick up, do you think? Or do you think that Dragon Age has kind of had its day?
I will pick it up, but I will be pretty ruthless in my analysis of it because Dragon Age Origins is one of my favorite games of all time. As if you are unaware, everyone, I've started doing videos on Dragon Age Origins.
Yes, you did. Link is below in the description if you want to check that out. Please do.
So I love this game. I adore the universe, and one of the greatest strengths that Dragon Age Dragon Age Origins has, is that the lore was so well thought out. So everything is explained. So you can just delve into these things, and there's books that you can just pick up and read that are just to help fill out the lore. Like there's a green eggs and ham parody in there.
They went as deep as Skyrim went, with the books, and I love
Mm-hmm.
that. I love the extra detail. And Loki points out what made BioWare have all left to start their own companies.
Yeah, this is true. Yeah,
Ah,
so yeah, I love Dragon Age. The second game was rushed, and there are some good elements to it, but it's overall pretty disappointing.
mhm.
Inquisition is all right. It's a little too complicated at certain points, but it's a huge step up from Dragon Age 2.
Agreed. Do you think that the problem with 2 is because it was so rushed, because they were so desperate after the success of the first game to get the second game out?
Okay, so one of the things to keep in mind is the first game started development before EA bought BioWare.
Mhm.
So it came out shortly after EA's purchase, but no one was really expecting that much from it. And then it became a huge hit. And then EA came in and was like, "We need another game."
Now, damn it.
There are some reports that they had about 8 months of development time on it. 8 months
Wow,
to develop an entire game.
that's crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I really do think that's why there's so many that's why they pretty much focus on just one location, on just the city of Kirkwall, because they had no time to develop anything else.
They developed the hell out of that location. Yes.
And like there's only the one mine set. You just keep exploring the same damn mine over and over and over again. It's like, how many smugglers are in here?
Yes. It's like, do you remember that Dudley Do Right film where all the bad guys turn up at the bank, and they're all piling in behind him. It's like, hold on a second, we're not all here yet, and there's like 50 more just cram into this place.
Yes.
It's like a back door somewhere that these bad guys are coming through. I love
Yes,
that.
pretty much.
But even Inquisition was a little bit like that because it was very lacking with locations. You know?
I mean, they were certainly more well developed than in 2, but yeah, you just kept going to the same places again and again, and it wasn't as open as I would have liked them to be. Just, if you're going to make your world that big, make it open world, please.
Yes, yeah, at least give people the opportunity to explore on their own. But it was
Mm-hmm.
very linear paths. You had to go from A to B to B to C back to A,
Mm-hmm.
and it really cut down on the amount of fun you could have. Whereas the first game, you were pretty much free to wander wherever you liked, and if you wondered where you shouldn't go, you sure as hell knew about it.
Yes. Yes. It's like, save Orzammar for later in the game because you're not ready
Mhm.
for that.
Oh no, you're gonna get killed to death. Yeah.
Yeah, if Orzammar is the first place you go, you're just not going to last long.
I think it's going to be one of those games that I'm going to keep an eye out on.
Mhm.
I like the games. I like the world that they built. I thought, the first one is a classic game, but it's really good. You've got so much scope and so much freedom to play with the character.
Mhm. Oh, there's
Um,
also just the replay value with all the different origin stories, 'cause,
mhm.
if you're an elf, if you're a dwarf, if you're a mage, people relate to you completely differently than if you went with human noble. There's so much replay value there too.
Yes, and how many times can you get to hook up with Morrigan? Yes,
True. That's very true. It's
you were all
very
thinking it. Don't
Yes,
lie.
yeah.
But it is a good game, and like I say, I hope it's good. But I'm really jaded when it comes to games now. I do not like to pre-order video
Oh, no,
games.
no, no, don't pre-order now.
Hmm.
Yeah, and there's also they were developing the game, then they kind of like scrapped the whole thing, brought in this leadership, and kind of, okay, start from scratch. Well, now he just left, so now what are they going to? Are they going to scrap everything again? I don't know.
Probably, yes, and it's going to be pushed back, and we'll get excuses for it, or it will be rushed, and we'll get a game that isn't playable. Looking at you, CD Projekt Red, that needs massive patches for day one. Yeah.
Is what was the is Cyberpunk at the
Cyberpunk.
is Cyberpunk at the point where the patches are bigger than the initial download now?
The last one that I had before I got my money back on the game was bigger than the game itself. Yes.
Okay. Okay.
Not a good sign, to be honest. But even games, I think that people have been playing, like Battlefield, for example, has massive problems. So
yeah,
it's not a good time to be a gamer. And I remember, even 5-10 years ago, you were sport for choice for amazing games. You had to decide which one you were going to pick up.
Oh yeah, November was legendary for how many games would come out, and it's like, oh, I can't afford to get all of them, and yeah, and then I also really don't like this whole concept that it seems like every studio does now, where they want the customers to basically act as their beta testers.
Yes.
Remember when a game came out and it was finished?
Yes.
I do.
Remember when they didn't charge you for stuff that was already in the game and called it DLC? Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, if you want people to beta test your game, you've got to lower the prices of the games, I think.
Yeah.
Loki confirms it. He said Cyberpunk is now playable, but there are still issues that break your immersion and take you out of the game.
Okay.
And that's a real shame, because up until that point, CD Projekt Red, because of their success with the Witcher games, people didn't think they could do any wrong, and they've really fallen from grace with this thing.
They were the chosen ones.
They were. We believed in you, CD Projekt Red. But there is another game that you've got your eye on that you have mixed feelings about as well, isn't there?
Yes. So my all-time favorite video game is the original Knights of the Old Republic.
Nice.
I adored that game when it came out. I just played constantly. I was a freshman in college, and basically anytime I wasn't doing homework or in class, I was playing that game. I loved it. Yeah, I remember that too.
Yeah, I remember that. Yeah. Pepperidge Farm remembers that. Yes.
Yeah.
Teasy Canadian says that's why I still like my old DOS games on Steam. Easy to play, graphics terrible but fun. Agreed.
Yeah.
Coffee on Korriban said I still only have a PS2. I love the PS2. PS2 had some amazing games. It was a great console.
Yeah. That's the other thing I really miss. Remember when the biggest advantage consoles have was it didn't require to install anything?
Yes. All you have to do is put the disc in and play. Yeah.
Yeah, that was the advantage. Now it's like, well, there's no reason not to go with a computer now.
Yes. I hate that. I hate that you have to download a game before you can get it to play. It's like, oh god.
Look, put in the disc. All right, be back in an hour for fun.
Yes. It's like, this is what you could be playing, but first we've got to download it.
So that was the one advantage.
So what was it about KOTOR that you loved so much? Was it the game itself? Was it the story? Was it the characters?
Well, it was mostly just an incredibly immersive story. The fact that they took you so far removed from any of the events in the movie, so it was you could it gave them a lot of freedom with what they could
Mhm.
do. And then it's this incredibly immersive tale with these characters that, yeah, they fit like certain like classic archetypes, but they're like fully realized and fleshed out. I mean, Canderous with all his stories that he would tell, HK just being like your shoulder devil, basically.
I love that character.
um, so all the characters that just made the world feel lived in, and just this incredibly epic tale. And now Dave Filoni's gotten involved in helping to tweak the story. Like you don't need to do that. You don't need to
Don't
do
don't
that.
don't do it. It's fine. The story is fine, and that's what's got people worried. We've had things like Final Fantasy that had the remake that was really well received because it just got a upgrade, but the story was kept the same. And this is all that the fans of KOTOR want.
Yeah, just give us updated graphics and a little more fluid combat. That's all it needs.
Yes. You can even keep the voice acting the same. You don't have to re-record any of the lines. Just keep it.
Just bring all the audio files over.
I'm sure you've got them.
Yeah.
But this game, it's been called a remake, isn't it? Does that make you nervous? Because, like you
Yes.
say, is it going to be tampered with? Is it going to be tweaked?
Yeah, like I would feel so much more comfortable if it was a remaster, but it's a remake.
Yes, it's all in the wording, isn't it?
Like, remake makes me worried.
Remake implies that they think that they can do it better than the original.
Which you can't. You can't do that. Like, the original KOTOR won all the awards.
It's like, do you want a successful game? This is a successful game. This is what you need to do.
I mean, there's a reason why almost 20 years later, okay, it's an old game. The game's came out 2003, I believe. So yeah, it's 18 years old. And yet it is still considered by many people the best Star Wars game ever made.
It is.
You're not going to top it.
No,
you won't top it.
It's not worth trying because Star Wars fans, although they are incredibly loyal, I think it's safe to say that they haven't really been treated the best recently.
No. Yeah.
We've had the Disney films that have really kind of split the fan base. We've got everybody really loved what they did with the Mandalorian. Until they kind of spat on the goodwill that they got from that. And there's been a lot of kind of controversy going on, let's say, around Star Wars, and what fans could really do with is something like this game that is universally loved, just to come back and something that people can enjoy after 18 years again.
Yeah. I even liked the sequel, even though there's a lot of problems with it. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, don't give them any ideas, like. But that's the thing,
wasn't your honey gay?
It's but again, it's ticking the boxes. That's the route that Disney have gone down now, and we've seen it time and time again. Coffee on Korriban says KOTOR Mobile was amazing as well.
It was. I remember actually having getting that on mobile and just being like, I remember when this was like on my console, and now I can just put it on my phone.
It's amazing. Dean says, what annoys me most about these reboots, they change the codes that the old game changes as well. Yes, we've seen that. And Mr. CCDV says, I like alternate history stories. I'm not a fan of revisionist history, though. Agreed. Absolutely. Yeah. But it seems like we've got a while to wait for this game because I thought it was coming out sooner than it is. But just looking at the latest news we've got on it, apparently we're not going to be probably seeing it until 2024 at the absolute earliest.
Just wow.
So,
Like, why even bother making the announcement?
yeah, and a trailer, we've got a trailer for it. I don't know whether that's a good thing or a bad thing, though, that they've pushed that they've given such a far away release date. To me, that implies that they're working quite hard on it. It's not a game that they're going to rush out. But on the other hand, it does also kind of hint towards that they're changing things as well.
Yeah, because it's like if they were just wanting to do just an updated version of the original game, then you don't need to change all that much. It's just the code for the the graphic package and all that stuff, and implement a new engine for the fighting sequences and the cutscenes. But that's you don't really need to change that if they were just being fairly quick about it. Whereas if you're remaking things, if you're gonna put Disney's slimy little tentacles in there,
that's an interesting way of looking at it, definitely. And probably quite apt, actually. But even a lot of computer games seem to be having a lot of problems at the moment. I've heard about Titanfall. They're throwing in the towel because of hackers have made the game unplayable, which I think is hilarious. It's like, well, people are like that, but I never liked Titanfall anyway, so it's no big loss to me. I thought it was a terrible game.
I was never a huge fan into Titanfall either. I heard the second one was all right, but I didn't play it.
You know what? Just because of the first one, I didn't try it. And a big thank you to Darth Haster. He sends a $5 super chat. Thank you, honey. He says, for the hell of it. Oh, thank you, sweetheart. Thank you so much. Very appreciated. Thank you. Yes. And Daryl says, very accurate. Good morning, Daryl. Good to see you.
Yeah.
But I hope, at least, like I said in the past, I hope for the fans that they get what they want, because they do deserve it. And this game, KOTOR, has been such a big influence on a lot of people. Like you say, this was pretty much the go-to game if you wanted to play Star Wars.
For me, it is the gold standard for RPGs in general. I absolutely love the game, and I still have my original copy that still has my original notes in it.
Is that back in the day when you had to like write down codes and things to get ahead?
Okay. All right. So save. Try this part of the puzzle. Didn't work. Okay. Reload. Try it again. Okay. And then once I find out the solution, write it down.
So you didn't have to go through that all over again.
Yep.
But that was the great thing about gaming. You didn't have, the safety wheels were taken off if you had to figure things out back in the day.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, there were guides for it, but I didn't get one because I wanted to figure everything out.
Yes, I liked game guides just to collect, but I never used them whilst playing games because, like you say, I like to try and figure things out as well. That's the whole fun of the game, and it always makes me smile and laugh when I see game journalists saying, these games are too hard to play.
Oh,
that's
God.
your job.
Yeah, your job is to play a video game. Play the video game.
Play the damn game and stop complaining.
Like, you know how many of us would love to be able to play video games for a living?
Yes. It's the same with like movie critics as well, complaining that there's too much stuff that they have to sit down and watch. Oh, my heart bleeds. It does.
Yeah.
But these gaming critics, they couldn't play the games that we used to play when we were kids because they would have been too
God,
hard.
no. They're too hard for me now.
Yes. I've gone back and played games that I used to play as a kid, and I don't have the coordination. I can't do it anymore.
I know. Like I a couple of months ago, I picked up like a Sega Genesis pack that had like has like 30, 40 games in it. I forget. And I was playing Golden Axe. I beat that game many times as a kid, and I was having my ass handed to me. I'm like, what? I beat this.
Oh, I was like that with Streets of Rage. I used to
That's
love
another
that
one.
game.
Yes.
Yes, I got absolutely owned. I used to be able to play this. I used to be great at this. Did I get old? What happened?
I was replaying that, and the amount of times I accidentally hit the superpower, for the cop sending the bazooka. I'm like, no, I wanted that for the boss. Damn it!
Damn it! You can't get that back. Loki makes a good point as well. He says game journalists only hire on as a springboard to political journalism. That does seem to be the way.
It really does, yeah.
It does, yeah. There's way too much, there isn't the focus on the game itself. It's all, inserting their own opinions and politics into it, as well as, eventually getting round to talking about the game.
Like the top 10 reasons why Bowser reminds me of Donald Trump.
And that was the top 50 list. They had to narrow it down.
Yeah.
Sharpen Lodi says really enjoyed combat and the Atari 2600.
Oh yeah.
I used to love the Ataris. Those are cool. Those are solid consoles. Holy hell.
Yeah, it's amazing how well like the older consoles still work.
Yes.
And meanwhile, my 360 meanwhile my 360, I can't get it to boot up at all anymore. Like,
it's just a really big paperweight now.
How come the Genesis I had as a kid 30 years ago still works, and yet this more modern one is just crap?
Well, it's like phones nowadays, isn't it? You think back to the old phones that we used to have. They were built like bricks, but you could turn the Nokia on and it would still work to this day.
Yeah. And those Nokias were also great as like a defensive weapon if you needed one.
Yeah, you put one on a string and swing it and be like. Paris says, I had a friend who full-time tested games for 6 months. He worked on a Barbie and a kid's horse game. It was not a dream job. Yeah, I could see how that would be a disappointment if you came to, thinking you're going to get the latest Call of Duty or, the next AAA rated game and you get those. That would be disheartening.
Yeah.
And Mark says, I still have a working Commodore 64 bread bin, a 1541 disk drive and colour monitor that work perfectly.
Nice.
Stuff was built to last back then. That's the thing. It really was. Yes.
Yeah, they were.
And I know it sounds silly, but I really miss cartridges. I loved cartridges. It's like, damn it, we're not supposed to blow into them, but you do it anyway.
Yep. Because it somehow works.
Yes. Or you shake it. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like when your TV stops working, you just hit it. It's like, got it working again.
Yep. I remember this one time my sister was playing. I forget what game she was playing on our Sega Genesis, and I like tripped, and my hand went right onto the reset button on the Sega Genesis console, and she's like, "You better hold it right there."
15 hours later.
I was stuck there till she finished the level. Then she's like, "Let me get the code." All right.
Nice. we can now save. And that was the other thing that old games didn't have. You had to get to that next save point, as everything you've
Uh-huh.
done, you'd have to do again.
Yeah, get to the save point or get to the where you got the code that you could then enter. Yeah.
I miss it. And it's up
Yeah.
and Lodi says, I remember playing G.I. Joe on the Commodore 64. It was like borrowing movie reels from the library before VHS. Oh my god, you guys are the best. Uh, before we let these people go and let them enjoy the rest of the Friday and their weekend, what have you got coming up? Project Storytime.
Well, tomorrow I'll be on with Eris of Chaos and Arwen. I'm not sure what we're covering yet. We should probably discuss that. And then some Mark, you're in the chat. Is Mary having a stream on Monday? I forget. I think she is.
Okay.
If that's the case, I'll be on with Mary on Monday. And then at some point next week, part 2 of my Dragon Age series should be out.
Nice. I
Not
love
sure
that.
when it will be. Well, you've already seen part 2.
Yes, I have, but still. I want everyone else to see it because I enjoyed it.
So yeah, at some point, part 2 will be out, and then at the beginning of the next year, I hope to be on a more of a routine schedule to have more weekly updates.
Yes, there's that thing that we call time that we don't seem to have a lot of anymore.
Yeah, yeah. There's been some personal things, a lot of personal things going on. So
Yeah, it's that and being December, and you never seem to have a lot of time during the holidays.
yes, and I at the very least I will have something for Christmas. I'm not sure if my wife will be able to join me for doing a Christmas video, but there will be a Christmas thing.
Nice. Looking forward to that. And Snorterpoopus, what's up, honey? He says gets ready to waddle off in a huff. What's going on?
Aw.
what did we do? Burn upset anybody. And thank you, Cam. He says, have a great rest of your day and weekend. You too, sweetheart. You have a good one. So, guys, let me say a massive thank you to Project Storytime for being a fantastic co-host today, as always. We've got
Thank
a
you for
lot.
having me.
We've got a lot coming up. I've got some really cool shows that I need to talk to some people about because I want to get some panel shows going. I will be back on Monday. I don't think I'm going to do everything on Sunday because over the weekend I'm going to finish putting up all of my Christmas decorations because I've just got boxes sitting downstairs at the moment that need to be unpacked. So I will probably be doing that, but I will be back definitely on Monday as always. A massive thank you to everybody who sent super stickers and super chats. You guys are the best as always. And I guess the best thing we can say is have a fantastic rest of your Friday. Have a wonderful weekend. Check out Project Storytime. Links are in the description below. If you're not subscribed, please do. And I know there's a lot of people streaming over the weekend. I know Loki has got his night show tonight with Mexican Iron Man. That's going on as well. We've got a movie watch party on Monday, which I'm really looking forward to. Thank you, boss. Absolutely. It says great stream, Purple. Thank you, everyone, for popping in. And I'll see you tonight on the late show with Mexican Iron Man. Absolutely, guys. Please check that out. That will be on Mornings of Mischief tonight. So looking forward to that one, which is a 10 p.m. I believe. So please, guys, check that out. It's a great show as always. So, guys,
way funnier than Jimmy Kimmel.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is. Have a wonderful rest of your day, guys, and a massive thank you to everybody. So take care, and I will see you very, very soon. Mwah.
Bye, everyone.